This is Boxing Tickets, and in association with that prize guy, I am delighted to be joined with the Terry Butcher of Irish boxing, Jack O'Neill. How are you?
I'm all good, Stephen. How are you doing? It's been
I,
a while.
it has been a while. Unfortunately, I never got to do your interview. Obviously, afterwards, I guess the concern, obviously, afterwards was the amount of blood. Obviously, it probably looked worse than it was. It was probably like where you get a paper cut sometimes and it hurts like anything, but it was probably worse than it was. But your immediate concerns was seeing the doctor and things like that. And unfortunately, with the matchroom card, sometimes you don't get the backstage access to do the interview. So it's been a while. Like I think we spoke the other week, and I was like, we need to get a catch up because I never got to speak to you afterwards. And then your fight got announced. So, we're killing two birds with one stone, reviewing your last fight and obviously then your next fight in a month's time. But like you've had a bit of time to reflect. I sort of saying to you before we started, you had four fights between August and March. And then obviously you've had 4 or 5 months off since. So you sort of had time to sort of reflect on how things have went for you so far.
Yeah, well, it's been a dream start. Obviously, sort of looking from the outside, it's very, very active. This one on the 1st of August. My debut was on the 3rd of August last year, so that would top off five in a year, which is very active. So you can't complain on that. But like you says, it was very busy the first four and about a 5 month layoff. But before that last fight, I was having a lot of problems with my shoulder. And then just finished physiotherapy with it and was getting back to normal. And then this sort of fight was sort of in the works, so it just worked out perfect for me. I've enjoyed the break. Probably kind of needed it too. It was an intense there. I think it was four fights in about 7 or 8 months. So it's just back to back fight camps. But no, I'm looking forward to this one and getting back at it.
That's, I guess, sometimes, on the outside, sort of people look at things and they sort of see you getting the activity, but it's like, it's the diet, and it's like obviously you're a PT with trade and stuff as well. And I'm guessing you're like most of the PTs where they're sort of split days, you're in the morning, maybe off in the afternoon, back in the evening, and things like that. Like it's a strenuous sort of lifestyle to be living constantly 24/7. You're saying you had a bit of a shoulder injury there as well. You need to have your body in that relaxation mode sometimes to go, I need to take a break. I need to relax because you don't want to have a 2 year career in boxing. You want to have a 10 plus career in boxing.
No, 100%. Like you said, yeah, most days I'm working, I do the split. You're trying to get your two training sessions in a day too, so it's tough enough on the body, like you said. You just need to sort of prioritize your sleep, your recovery, eating well too, obviously helps. So, but listen, you can't complain. The job I do kind of complements being a professional boxer, so yeah, I can't complain.
I guess as I sort of said to Theo the other day. Obviously, you'll also be making his fifth fight. Like sort of use shared cards quite a lot within this last year. Like you know, it's a sort of short term sort of sacrifices you're making for the long term bigger picture. Like I'm guessing your ideal aim would be to do the boxing full time.
Oh yes, no, 100%. Listen, you definitely can't complain when you're getting five fights because you know yourself, people out there are struggling to get a couple of fights a year, or maybe even they're having a wee bit of luck on a card, and then next thing you know, the card's pulled or a fighter doesn't show up. So, thankfully, I haven't had anything like that yet. But so you can't complain when you're so active. Getting five fights in a year is very, very good. And like you said, the overall aim is maybe in the next 2 years that I could be a full-time boxer.
I guess when we reflect back on the SSE, like, is it probably fair to say probably the standout sort of moment for you so far? Like everybody dreams of these matchroom cards, being involved with the big stars, like with Crockerdonovan heading the card. And I thought the atmosphere on the night from start to finish, probably we haven't seen in Belfast for quite a while. Like you probably come back, maybe occasionally a mix cards, but obviously there's really good fights and stuff there. The Frampton days, like, it was a really, really special night.
No, 100%. Even watching the main event, from the stands, sitting there, the whole place packed out, the walkouts, and you're just sitting thinking, like, flip me one day if you could headline and sell out the SSE, it would be an absolute dream come true. Like,
Did you sort of, I guess when you have your fight finished, obviously, because I know after you have your fight and stuff finished, you always go around, everybody's bought tickets and thank them and things like that. But when you're sitting in the crowd there, sort of watching the other fights in the card, like, are you nearly forgetting that you were actually in that ring earlier in the evening? You're sort of going, this is brilliant, what a night. And you're going, I actually fought in that card tonight. Where you actually forget that you fought in the card because you're enjoying the atmosphere of being a fan so much.
No, 100%. You're right. You forget, but I truly remember because my head was a wee bit sore from the 13 stitches.
Is that how many stitches it was?
Yeah, well, I think it was 7 or 8 dissolvable ones, and then 6 or 7 on the outside, so 13 in total. Like,
That's a whirlwind for years to come for you. Be going, have this one from this fight, have this one from this fight. You'll hopefully not end up like Ryan Burnett, where you've got big scars over your eyes from obviously the plastic surgery and stuff. But it's wee whirlwinds. They keep you remembering, keep you safe and keep you sane sometimes to go, that's what this boxing game's all about.
no, 100%. I thought it was worth it when I seen the photo after the blood run thing off it. Me, I look hard and that there. And then I found out that my hair won't go back in again, so now I have a wee mini ball patch. I was like, flip's sake, maybe it wasn't worth it. Like,
You're going old before your time, then you'll be bald before you're 30.
hopefully not. Hopefully that's the first and last big one there, but I'm sure I'm due another couple. But at the same time, it was good to experience something like that. Never happened to me before. Thankfully, the position where I was, the blood was mostly missing my eye, but the round after it started getting in, so that was a fine. Like it wasn't even like I was sore or anything. Just felt like someone was just pouring a bottle of water down my head. So, but again, like I said, it's good to experience it. It didn't really phase me, so I know I'm not sitting in the back of my head going flip. Hopefully, I don't get cut because I've dealt with it before.
You've had the experience of that before, so you knew when it sort of happened, not to rush, not to panic, and think that potentially the fight could be stopped and things like that. You just knew, I guess, Ray and things like that in the corner were going, Jack, it's all right where it's at. There's no issues of the fight being stopped or anything like that.
No, 100%. And then shout out to Jano, the cut man. I thought he'd done an absolutely amazing job as well for it because it was deep and nasty enough. I obviously don't realise at the time, but after when you're going in to get the stitches and a couple of lads are taking photos, we're all laughing about it. And I was going, Jesus, it is deep. Like, but no, yeah, like you said, and Ray and Mark and stuff too, they kept the head nice and calm.
Back for fight five, and as a month from now, pretty much it's 4 weeks and 3 days. They fight number five. Another new venue for you as well. Like you're probably one of them rare ones, Jack, at the fact that three of your first four fights were in the SSE Arena. The other one was in the Ulster Hall. You're now probably closer to home in a lot of ways than the Devenish. Like, obviously, I know Ray and Mark's obviously both promoted shows and stuff here in the past. Like, the Devenish going to give you probably a different feel, a different buzz. Probably in some ways it might feel like it's 50,000 people that's in there because the roar and the banter people goes on. You're probably more excited maybe in some ways for the Devenish than you have been for the other ones.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, I grew up just round the corner from the Devonish. Like, I've had many nights out in the Devonish too. I've seen a lot of the boxing fights in the Devonish. The big buzz about this one too is like being a lot higher up in the card. So by the time I fight, the whole place will be filled. I've sold a lot of tickets, like maybe even the same amount as the Ulster Hall too, when it's an even smaller venue again, which is unbelievable. Like the support that I've been getting since I've turned over has been absolutely mental. I never expected it. So I just know the place is gonna be loud and noisy. So I'm excited for that. Although I know it's gonna be an absolute sweatbox too, the amount of people crammed in, but I'm looking forward to it like big time.
Well, you're saying you're overwhelmed by the support. Like when you were turning over, what did you sort of have in your mind? Because I guess that's everybody's fear, that we see people that try to turn over nowadays and then they can't turn over because they realize that the pressure and stuff like that and selling tickets. Like when you were turning over, what was your sort of expectations of what you would have sold tickets wise?
Like, do you know what? I'm trying to even think back of the first pro fight. I remember going, we got the message like, what do you think about the ticket order? I can't remember how many I said, but I think I might have said like maybe, hopefully like 100. And Ray was like, oh, but we'll try and do a wee bit out of the gym and stuff like that. And then your mates and then your dad, all sitting talking with dad. I was like, what are you thinking? He was more closer to me. And then we got the tickets and we ended up going a wee bit higher, listening to Ray a wee bit, and then we ended up needing more tickets and more tickets. And to be fair, it's kind of snowballed on, but I have to say a big thank you to my dad because he sells a lot more than me. I would say, like just because when I'm training too, I try and leave it a wee bit more up to him. And then I do get a good load of my mates anyway. I would have said like I would have been quite popular before, so I would have thought I would have sold a good load to your friends, but at the same time, like it's not cheap. Do you know what I mean? People have other things going on, especially this one too. It's peak holiday time. Like a lot of my friends are going away to Ibiza like the day after, and they're still making their time to go watch my fight. Like it's not easy, so it's a massive shout out to them, and they're the reason why I've been getting the opportunities.
It's not easy for you as well. Obviously, all your mates heading to Ibiza after your fight, and you're sort of going, "What about me?" But these are the sacrifices you have to make, Jack, aren't they? You're sort of going, "Well, I'm gonna have to miss this one, lads. I'm training for a fight, or I'm hoping for another fight." Like you can't just go the Ray and Mark and go, "Here, I'm away to Ibiza for a week." Like these sacrifices you're making, you're sort of nearly giving up sort of the prime partying days of your life.
No, 100%. But listen, you have to. I also think my missus would want me to bring her away before I threw a boys trip in the Ibiza anyway. But no, but see to me, like I know it's sort of classified as a sacrifice, like, but it doesn't seem like that. Like I'm 24 now. I'll be 25 at the end of the year. Like I'm thinking if I just stick the head out 30, 31, 32, I'll be in and out of the game. Hopefully achieve what I want to achieve and have enough money there that even if I could buy myself a house and you know what I mean, set up a business or whatever it is, or probably end up in with Mark and Ray somewhere in trade, then I'm happy as Larry, you know, that way where if you kind of muck about and piss about now, like you could be in and out and active and do you know what I mean? It's just not worth it. I just want to keep the ball moving, keep improving, and just doing it now while I can.
First six rounders, well, you're looking forward to it, I guess. Probably you don't want the reins to be held in. Probably after your pro debut, you're sort of going, give me a six, give me a six. You're getting your first six rounder the way. It's new realms to you. You're looking forward to, I guess, ideally, you don't want it to go the six round, but sometimes you need the six rounds to prepare for what's to come in the future.
No, 100%. I think me and Mark and Ray, we tried to get a six rounder after my first two fights. Just the way the cards were falling and the way they were laying them out, I could only get a four. And like you have to take the opportunities. But I'm looking forward to a six. I think the six is more of a professional fight. I think the four can turn into still a wee bit amateur and because like if you get knocked down in a four, then you're sort of struggling going flip. Like you might only scrape a win or you can only get a draw, which is not ideal. But so I'm looking forward to the six a lot longer. You can take your time a lot more. You're not trying to rush your work and I think the longer the rounds go, the better I'll be. So I'm really looking forward to it.
It's something I hear quite a lot from people. Obviously, you've been so used to the shorter format of amateur boxing. Sometimes you can have that slower start. So you only seem to find that people go, you're only going to see more of me as I go six, I go eight, I go 10 rounds. So this is where it's coming into Jack O'Neill's territory now. It's like this is my playing field.
No, 100%. Obviously, like you said, you don't want it, hopefully not to go six, but you like to get the rounds in too sometimes. But I've hit really hard for super bantam. I'm looking very sharp in training. Working on a lot of new stuff for Ray. I'm just waiting on him to get an opponent confirmed. Ray and Mark's been on the ball about that, sent a couple back and forth. And then once that's nailed on, then Ray puts together the tactics and introduces in the training, and we'll work on shots that's going to work. So hopefully get him out of there. But like you said, you have six rounds. You're in no rush, taking your time, boxing, pick your punches, and the openings will come.
Do you get much say in the opponents, or like I guess they're more really gonna digest and sort of look at flaws in the opponents themselves. Like, do you get much say sort of in it, or do you just give it a name and you go whatever you think, lads? It's like leave it, let them deal with everything else in the background. You just deal with putting the gloves on and fighting.
Yeah, well, like sometimes they'll send me that video. What do you think of him compared to him or whatever? And I just be like, I have 100% trust in you, and so whatever you just think, I go for. Like, do you know what I mean? The way I look at my weight, I would fight anyone in the world right now. Like, do you know what I mean? You just gotta believe in your own ability. Now, what we'll do is usually about 2, maybe 3 weeks out, we'll sit down before training, and Ray will show me a few clips and because I don't really like, I'll not sit and watch myself. He'll show me a few clips and goes like, look, he say for example, he drops his left hand here, or every time he steps out, the hands are low, and then we work on it from there. But Ray studies it. He comes up with the stuff. I have just watched a couple of clips with him, and then again, I just trust him and what he does because I think sometimes you watch someone that might be fighting someone shit and you go, flip, he looks lethal, but you're just as good as your opponent makes you look. So I'm just always thinking myself, focus on myself. I get in there in top form, top shape. No one will beat me.
It's one of them, isn't it? Like I was speaking to Kelsey Leonard, I think off camera last night before interview, and if you were helping someone else prepare for the fight and watching the clips, you'd be different than you are yourself. When it comes to yourself, sometimes you're like, it's not, it's like, Jack, tell me five good things about yourself. You probably couldn't name me one. But if you were to say, tell me five bad things about yourself, you can name me 20. It's like we never see the good in ourselves. So when it comes to you looking at opponent stuff as well, you're going, I can't picture myself fighting this person. But Ray, I could picture you fighting them. It's weird.
No, 100%. Or even like when I was amateur, like we used to go away on international trips and used to get the draw, and boys were sitting Googling or searching up on social media who their opponent was. Flip, he's 5-time Italian champion. And I was like, why would you even put that in your head? Like, do you know what I mean? It's to me, it's pointless. Like, I'm always a big believer. Like, boxing's a big mental game. Like, that's why I think when you train so hard, the preparation goes right. You're sitting in the changing room. Yes, obviously everyone has nerves, but like you're not going flip. Am I fit enough or did I do enough? It's everything like that's gone. You're just focused on yourself, get yourself in the ad zone, and if you show up, then you'll win. Like, do you know what I mean? Instead of putting extra pressure on yourself or even that wee small doubt, going flip, he's good or you know what I mean. I don't worry about anything like that. Do you know what I mean?
It's looking like about 10 weeks. Obviously, I know you've got this fight coming up, but obviously, I have to ask because you were on the last matchroom card. Like, I don't want to sort of say anything, and maybe might get you in bother either as well. But I'm guessing you're probably looking pretty confident and hopefully getting a slot on Windsor because you sold, well, if it is Windsor, it ends up being, but you sold quite a lot of tickets the last time. So that always bodes well with Matchroom. When they go, somebody can sell tickets. You're probably the next name that's on the card, probably after Crockerdonovan. They go, Jack O'Neill, we want him. So I know you're not going to look past August 1st, but you'll be hoping that you'll have another fight soon after.
Yeah, listen, like you said, I'm not looking past August 1st, but obviously, if I got confirmed on that matchroom card and if it is in Windsor, like you said, it would be an absolute dream come true. I think that fight's going to go down in history. It's the size with the magnitude, the rematch, the world titles up for grabs now. Like it would be an absolute dream come true. But just get August 1st. I just see him again. Mark, my manager. Honestly, I don't think there's a better manager for anyone starting off at the minute because the opportunities I've got, the stuff like he's always working on like the next thing or something coming up or even like away trips and the contacts he has is amazing. So I just leave that all to Mark. Mark may come to me sometimes like I only sort of find out that something's going on right before it's confirmed sort of thing because he obviously doesn't want to give your hopes up and stuff like that. So I just leave all that to Mark. Hopefully, Mark can pull the strings out of the game because even getting on that first matchroom bill was a dream come true. So hopefully he can. But again, for me, I'm just locked in for August 1st.
Yeah, I think sometimes the least you know, the better, because the last thing people want your mind being sidetracked and you're going, I'm fighting in Crocker Donovan, and then you're going, oh, I'm actually fighting next week in the Devenish.
Oh,
Um,
100%. Like anything, like if someone was knew they were fighting and they were fighting on the August 1st after, anything can happen. You get in there and get knocked out. Next thing you know, you can't fight in it, or you get a hand injury or anything. Next, you know what I mean. So you should never really be looking on to flip what's next. It's get over that, and then maybe a week out later, a couple of days later, mark anything coming up or whatever. But listen, fingers crossed, something does happen and I do get on the card. But I know that will be very competitive to get onto because everyone's going to want to get on that card. It's going to be that good, like
you're probably going to have people coming out of retirement looking to get on the card as well.
hundred
Um,
percent.
Finally, obviously, before I let you go, obviously, what can people expect? Obviously, I know you sold quite a lot of tickets. I think you put a post out yesterday to say you're nearly out of tickets. You're going to have to ask for more. So the demand's there. What can people expect out of Wacko Jacko on the 1st of August for your first six rounder?
I think this will be my best performance. I didn't really rate myself in the last one. I think that's the worst I've ever boxed in a long time. No excuses. A few things obviously happening in the background, but it was absolutely horrible. I think it's going to be an absolute masterclass of boxing, but not boxing, but not running away boxing. And I think I'll take him out late.
Another stoppage to come out. Stoppages help, don't they?
Yeah, 100%. Maybe that one in the Ulster Hall got to me a wee bit too, in that last one, and I get dragged into a fight when I'm trying to, and but like again, when an opponent's just sort of wild, and like when it's not like the better the opponent, some people are just going to sit in you, and you're trying to pick punches and stuff like that, and it doesn't look messy and scrappy. But sometimes you got to realize sort of the level that you're fighting and stick to something that's going to absolutely work against them. And so I think this one will be an absolute masterclass. Pick some serious punches, and if I pick them right, they'll definitely not be standing by the end.
I think the last time, maybe I'm wrong. The last time Ray was part of a card in the Devenish, Paddy sparked your man out like a deck chair, 2018.
Oh,
So
it was that the one he folded him like a deck chair.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
so I think
Hopefully
that's a
something
long
like
time
that there
coming.
because that went viral.
That'd be a nice one. Like Lennox Lewis even shared it and critiqued it and stuff as well. Like, that Ray Ginley effect. Like he's gonna have you folding somebody like a deck chair in the night and you'll go viral, and the next thing it'll not be matchroom cards you'll be looking at fighting in ring cards and New York and Riyadh and everything else. So, the world's your oyster then.
I'll have to show Ray this video now as soon as I get us uploading. Me and him be practicing that overhand right for the next 4 weeks.
I think Potty nearly ducked down the way. It went in slow motion, and I remember I was live on my phone, I think, and I thought, oh, I've got this perfect. And then when the fight stopped and stopped recording, I looked back at it and it was pixelated like anything. But thankfully, somebody else got it perfect in the night. But it's one of them shots you're sort of going, you know where you were when it happened. Everybody goes, I remember in Potty folded your man like a deck chair. You don't even have to tell the venue; people know what it is already.
Yeah, it just sticks in the mind, doesn't it? Like, but knockouts like that don't come around often. But here, who knows? Who knows? But me and Ray will be practicing that over the next 4 weeks now that you've said
You'll practice the right hand and then you'll lam the left and give it the same effect.
it. 100%. Or I'll be practicing and then I'm getting caught with one myself.
Oh, hopefully that doesn't happen.
No, I'm
Definitely
only
not.
joking. But that would be a full circle moment too. Potty doing a wee bit of promotion. Someone gets knocked out like that. But yeah, that's it.
Definitely. Well, look, Jack, thanks as always for your time. Obviously, enjoy your next 3 or so weeks at camp before, obviously, Fight 5 on the 1st of August. For anybody that's still looking tickets, give Jack a shout. Now, I know people sometimes say limited tickets, but you're out of nearly your allocation already and you need more. And the Devonish only holds so many people. So if you want tickets, torture Jack now and get them before it's too late.
No, 100%. Get on to me for tickets. More or less gone. And I was actually told if I need more, there's not going to be much left either. So that's why I put that post up. So if anyone's looking at tickets, just send me a message. I'll try and get you sorted.
Well, look, thanks very much for your time, Jack, and I'll speak to you soon.
Stephen, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, Jack. Take care. Thanks.
All right.
Bye. 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 Bye.